Grey Warden comes, the instrument of the Father. Oh, and the Father, he is but a shadow. Oh, how my children protect me. How they love me.
I have told you many times, Mother. I am not the Father. I am simply the Architect.
It does not change what you are. You took away that beautiful music. Left us with nothing.
It was a mistake to free you. It has left you with madness. I am truly sorry.
But perhaps the Warden would like to hear how it was that the Father began the Blight. You want the source of the Archdemon? The one who brought all our kind to the surface? Here he is!
I was correct. All of these creatures are irredeemable beings.
Ah, there it is then. Unfortunate. I did find the old god Athemiel, but I did not wish another blight. I attempted my joining ritual. My hope was that this would free all Darkspawn, unravel the curse from its source. Alas, I was unlucky. Is it not the way of the Grey Wardens to do what must be done, in the name of combating the Blight? The Blight is a menace, both for your people and for mine. To end it requires sacrifice and risk.
And how lonely the Father was. How terrible to be the outcast, the outsider. He claims he wishes the Darkspawn to be free, but what he truly wants is to correct them.
However you feel about what I have done, the Mother is mad. She cannot be allowed to...
Begone, Shadow! You can't love any more than you already have. And now the hero is alone. Oh, the Mother knows your ways. You will not let her be, no, not after what she's done. So it must end. It all must come crashing down! Perhaps we will hear the song again when we die. Oh, let it come. Let it come.
Well, shit. So can I actually use those things now? I can! Sweet. Alright, the Ancient Tevinter Monument now reactivated can blast a single target with fire. Architect's Fire. Oop. Come on. The Architect, now an ally, can summon a powerful inferno to scorch a targeted area, friendly fire possible. This rediscovered Tevinter relic offers the power to heal allies. Nice. This long dormant Tevinter artifact is capable of stunning all creatures in an area. Or any of the Tevinter powers you've activated, use special abilities. If I can sweater, open your item menu. I used one. Right, abilities. Nice! Let me down. Let me down. Hey, bitch, let me down. Ah, you bitch. Okay. Where's my... Survival... Here it is. Heal! Resurrect! I'm okay now. Chug, 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 chug. There we go. Get your kits. There we go. Ew. I don't need to use that just yet. Well, I probably will in the end. Do I have any stamina healing potions? Nah, I don't. Well, yeah, I do! Sweet! Chug. You. Get up and drink your stamina potion. Oh, shit. Hope you guys are fine. I'll be fine because I'm resistant to fire, so... Fuck you! Chug! Fuck! Get up, chug, 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 chug! Okay, now, let's go! Come on, she's almost dead! Fuck you, Mummy Dearest! Ow! I didn't read the last time, but we'll read this one, so. After the death of the mother, the remaining Darkspawn forces scattered and fled back into the deep roads. The raids on Amaranthian came to an abrupt end. The Architect apparently kept his word, gathering his remaining disciples to follow the rest of their kind back underground. Those Grey Wardens, let's see here. Those Grey Wardens and other nations were appalled to hear the Architect's continued existence, but were unable to track him down despite your efforts. Some within the Order have claimed that the Architect's survival guarantees another blight, and yet the deep roads have lately been quieter than any can recall. Most have resigningly decided that it is now in the Maker's hands. Word of the Grey Warden's heroic salvation of Amaranthian spread like wildfire. When the magnitude of the losses of Vigil's Keep came to light, sympathy drove generous donations from all over Ferelden into the region's coffers. Amaranthian was restored to its former glory within a year. Vigil's Keep in 5. Because of the Warden's support for law and order in Amaranthian, Constable Aiden and his men were able to distribute the smuggler's good to the battered survivors in the grueling days that followed the Darkspawn's defeat. The Darkspawn messenger, set free after joining the Warden in the Battle of Amaranthian, struck out on his own. The city soon buzzed with stories of a cloaked but lisping figure who aided travelers in danger. Oh, that's nice. At the same time, reports of isolated cases of Darkspawn disease emerged. No one connected the two. Aw, poor guy. Although the war devastated many farms in the Arling, all agreed the losses could have been greater without the soldiers for protection. The farmholders developed a certain reverence for the Warden Commander, as well as the ongoing reliance on the Grey Wardens for order and protection. I think that was pretty good all so far. Dirk, one of the pranksters behind the Blight Orphan scam, was fortunate enough to survive the Battle of Amaranthian. The unconditional generosity of the Blight Orphan's mysterious benefactor inspired him to establish a legitimate charity dedicated to children orphanized in the attack. His sweetheart, Melcy, eventually bore him to rascals. Aww. Vigil's Keep stood alone against a horde of Darkspawn. The Mother's forces outnumbered the Vigil's defenders many times over. but the sturdy dwarven walls proved impervious to any boulder an ogre could throw. The vigil's soldiers, clad in silverite, huh? No? Each felled a dozen darkspawn before they died. Did I get silverite? I must have missed something else somewhere then. Before they died, the vigil held one night, then two, then a week, and eventually the attacking hordes broke upon her walls. The keep developed an almost mythic reputation, the few survivors immortalized in song and legend. Peace allowed the wardens to replenish their numbers. Soon Vigil's Keep bore a capable army with wardens at its core. From these ranks emerged new heroes to challenge threats to Amaranthian and all of Ferelden. Through taxes and levies, the Vigil was rebuilt. Years later, Voldric, stood in the battlements and pronounced that the defenses were acceptable. He would never speak more highly of any human engineering. Some nobles claimed the Grey Wardens were involved in Ban Whatever's disappearance on the eve of the final battle against the Darkspawn. Dark Whispers hint that a conspiracy to oust the Wardens from Amaranthian is still afoot. Among more legends than the Vigil spawned was one of the great heroes of the Next Age, a sheepherder turned soldier by the name of Sir Alec the Valiant, who eventually founded the Order of Knights that lasted 1,000 years. That was the fucker we made a knight, just because we didn't want to kill him for stealing hay. The commander's blade, Vigilance, crafted from the bones of an ancient dragon, was boldly stolen by thieving crows. The blade changed hands many times thereafter, with some master swordsmen pursuing the weapon their entire lives. Haha, awesome. Some claim that this legendary blade has had a life of its own and that its power is steadily growing. Yeah, sounds alright. The dwarven guy further refined his lyrium sand explosive, but left the warden's employ after Quinari mercenaries tried to assassinate him. Fuck you. Although the dwarven bombardier took his secrets with him, the learned say he left clues for others to follow in his footsteps. With Valana and the architect gone from the region, the pilgrim's path began to see traffic again. The massacre of the Milton and the merchants, however, led to hostilities between the neighboring human settlements and any Danish clans that passed by. One human villager soon kidnapped and murdered a Dalish child. Oh god. The clans reacted by giving the Wending Woods a wide berth, but both sides know that at some point the elves will return for revenge. A few years after Kalhiro was emptied of Darkspawn, Orzammar began sending expeditions to rediscover the knowledge of smithing that had been lost within the Taig. Excuse me. Eventually, House Helmley decided that Kalhiro was too important to abandon. At a tremendous cost of dwarven lives, they cleared the tunnels leading to Kalhiro of all Darkspawn, making the road between Orzammar and the fortress safe again. Oh, cool! Kalhiro was reclaimed for Orzammar once and for all. A melt with the Dwarven Empire. As promised, Voldric and Dworkin presented Orzammar's shapewright with a stone marker that told of how Kalhiro's caste list had taken up arms against the Darkspawn. The commander of the Grey was invited to Orzammar as a guest of honor of a feast commemorating the defenders of Kalhiro. The Shaper read the names of the caste list off the marker, then presided over a ceremony to return them to the stone as befitted warriors of their stature. In time, the Arling began to forget the tales of apparitions in the Black Marsh. And ever so slowly, settlers drifted into the region. Scholars said the veil was still thin, and thus the area is still dangerous, but the people who cared that there were no longer frightened whisperers in the shadow. The village was slowly rebuilt. Twice the Baroness's mansion was rebuilt and occupied, once by a wealthy merchant and another by an Orlesian mage. Both died mysteriously. Afterward, the mansion was torn down completely and the site left untouched. Survivors of the Siege of Vigils keep hailed Anders and his magic for holding back hundreds of the assaulting Darkspawn. In the ensuing victory celebration, the man dragged the mage into the fire to engage him in a drinking contest. Anders lost. Yeah. Anders remained with the Grey Wardens for a few years longer, training the Order's next generation of mages. But when the Circle Tower called on him to deliver a lecture on the nature of the Architect, much to the Templars' dismay, yes, Anders told the commander of the Grey that it was his time with the Warden was over. Now that Anders was no longer a Warden, the Templars declared him an apostate, finally catching the mage when he tried to destroy his phylactery. He escaped from the tower an 8th time, then a 9th time before disappearing entirely. Lana never saw her clan again, but neither did she forsake her Dalish culture, nor her sharp tongue, nor her quick temper. Lana's interactions with other Grey Wardens changed her opinion of humankind significantly. Shortly after the Mother's defeat, Darkspawn stragglers who still remained on the surface attacked a human village. Lana was the only Grey Warden nearby and defended the village single-handedly. She did not sneer once. Years later, on Expedition in the Deep Roads, Valana took off on her own after saying she had seen Sarani in the shadows. The other wardens searched for her, but she was truly gone. Over the next years, Nathaniel dedicated himself to the Order in declaring the blemishes on his family's name and clearing. After saving Fergus Coastland from a bandit attack, a portion of Amaranthian was returned to the house. Nathaniel passed the holding to Delilah's son, and when a new castle was eventually built there, a statue of Nathaniel was created in its courtyard. Once the Darkspawn threat ended, Justin left the Grey Wardens to pursue other injustices. Years later, he appeared on the doorsteps of Kristoff's widow and, smiling, simply dropped dead, or finally had a body to mourn. If the spirit itself remains alive, it has not shown itself. That was interesting. It was Sigrun who led the charge against the Darkspawn when Vigil's Keep was attacked. Once again, she had an army behind her, and once again, they fought the Darkspawn with no hope of survival. This time, Sigrun did not flee. Where'd he go? At Vigil's Keep, Orgrin rallied a last-minute defense at the gate, taking on 2 ogres simultaneously to allow others time to regain the courtyard. He eventually passed out from blood loss, and when he awoke weeks later, nobody was more surprised than he to discover that he had been declared a hero. About right. Orgrin continued to regale young Warden recruits with tales of his prowess in both battle and bed. His drinking games prompted at least one recruit to declare that she'd rather reattempt the joining than have another mug. Felsi returned to Vigil's Keep several times to see Orgrin, usually bringing their toddler as well. Orgrin's inability to act seriously wore on her, however, and her visits dwindled, then stopped altogether. If Orgrin missed her or his child, he never showed it. Aww. As savior of Ferelden, she did not remain as commander of the Grey for long. The Darkspawn were no longer a real concern. The blight well and truly over. It was time for her to move on. Some claim the commander reunited with the red-haired bard-nosed Liliana, and that they adventured together still. The pair were spotted together in Denerim a year after the Blight's end. No matter the truth, the commander never did return to Vigil's Keep. Okay, that was it for the Awakening DLC. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time in... What's the next DLC? Golems of Agramark? Golems of Amgark, yeah. No clue what the hell to expect in that one. Looking forward to it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the DLC, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye. Hello, and thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this Let's Play, feel free to click one of the 2 links to take you to a new Let's Play. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.